I'm Frank Curley, and today I'll be discussing Opportunity Cities using Rochester, New York as a case study, discussing its driving economic factors and possible interventions that can be taken to make use of its potential. First, a brief description of Opportunity Cities. These cities are underserved, underdeveloped, or underinvested communities that have been largely left out of the economic growth experienced in the United States. Many examples are found in Rust Belt communities, such as Detroit or Indianapolis, that have begun to decay after American manufacturing decline, but many more opportunity cities can be found all over the United States. In addition to economic aspects, there are typically racial aspects of these cities. Many of them are majority black or Hispanic and suffer from a long history of racial discrimination, either through redlining or other means. Moving on to Rochester, New York. Rochester is a city in the Rust Belt, and like many Rust Belt cities, has had to undergo tremendous change in the past 50 years to keep up with changing economic conditions. The loss of manufacturing is noticeable in the comparison of these two photos, but what has Rochester done to replace these industries? A major driving economic factor has been higher education, with Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT, and University of Rochester both being large employers in the city. Additionally, Rochester also has a strong healthcare sector associated with it. Strengthened by its ties to local colleges, it is also a driving economic force in the city. Lastly, manufacturing remains a key aspect of Rochester's economy, focused on high-tech manufacturing. Major companies, such as Kodak and Xerox, are based out of Rochester, tying the city to its historical manufacturing roots. Despite these economic drivers, Rochester still has many underserved communities in need of investment. Rochester suffers from a higher poverty rate compared to the surrounding area, reaching 33% in 2015, an increase of 9% since 2000, and more than 25% greater than the surrounding suburban area. Further, the divides within the city are also great, with the inner city experiencing higher poverty, unemployment, and lower income compared to the outskirts. It's also no surprise that Rochester also suffers from a history of segregation that can still be seen in the city today. Areas with higher proportions of Black and Hispanic people are highly correlated with greater levels of poverty compared to areas with a greater number of white people. With the economic history, driving forces, and local struggles now discussed, we can now talk about interventions that would best serve the city and unleash its potential. A key choice that could be made to support Rochester is increasing inter-city business support. This would have the effect of both uplifting its poor citizens, creating businesses with higher economic multipliers that will reinvest in their communities, and making the downtown area a better place for both locals and tourists alike. This can be accomplished through the funding and establishment of community development corporations, or CDCs, as well as other entrepreneurship organizations designed to support local communities. This would lead to greater levels of local entrepreneurship and investment, revitalizing these underserved communities. Another strong investment that could be made to uplift the community is investing in youth empowerment programs. Investing in the future through the youth is a common way for communities to sustain themselves well into the future, and Rochester has a few advantages that would make this a good investment. Rochester already has strong higher education and high-tech manufacturing. By getting the youth involved in these fields, it would not only strengthen the community ties to these industries, but also uplift the disempowered members of the city to these higher paying fields. In the long term, this will lead to stronger communities with greater ties to local industries, in addition to community uplifting. In the short term, it will also provide the youth with greater opportunities and the ability to pursue interesting or well-paying fields that they may not have had the opportunity to explore otherwise. These are just a few interventions that would work well for the city of Rochester, New York. Other opportunity cities will have other interventions that would work best for them. That could range from more affordable housing to greater workforce development. We need to ensure consistent access to all resources to all members of a community to ensure that community will have the ability to grow and will not be left behind like so many great American cities already have been.